Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather and today I am in my kitchen with my daughter and we are going to make homemade apple pies. My daughter's on the other side of the kitchen. She is chopping and coring the apples, and I'm going to start getting ready to make the pie crusts. So just that should work there. So she's over there doing the apples, and over here I'm getting ready to make the pie crust. So I'll be right back in just a second. I just got to finish getting out all the ingredients I need to make my pie crust. Okay, so I've got everything that I need to make this pie crust. I'm just trying to lower my camera. Oh, sorry about that. I just went to move my camera down and it just kind of came off the stand. Okay, so we're gonna make the pie crust. So I've got my lard here, so I'm gonna take 1 pound of the lard, and I'm just going to kind of cut it up with my pastry blender. It's already soft. I always find it just easier to kind of get the lard kind of softened before putting it in with the flour. I'm just gonna mash it with the pastry blender just so it's in smaller little pieces like that. Looks like that. I'm just going to set this aside. And I'm just going to bring my mixer in view. So I've got my KitchenAid mixer, and on here it has attached to it, I can't really angle my camera up at the moment, but it has the attachment that measures and sifts the flour. Oh, my daughter just kind of helped me out because I can't reach the thing. Okay, so it's got this. I have never used this. So I'm just going to see. On. It's on grounds. I guess I should say, so my recipe I'm using is the one that came in the box of the lard. So it just says easy pie pastry. So for a single pie crust, this makes either 2 single crust or 1-inch double pie crust. And it says it needs 2 2/3 cup of your all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of your lard, and 1/3 of a cup of ice water. So, but we're making enough to make 2, so I'm doubling the recipe. So I'm just gonna. Just opening my flour. Of flour, and I've got my little, I love my little Russian nesting doll measuring cups. That's the 1 cup measure. Yeah, that's the 1 cup. Just need a spoon. I didn't even grab a spoon. Okay, so I need to measure out. So I need a total of 4 cups. I guess 5.5 cups. I need 5.5 cups of flour. So I'm going to be measuring this out. I've never used this, so I don't know how that works right. Just trying to see. First, I'm just going to do measure up my 2 cups and 2/3 of a cup of flour. And I'm just going to weigh this. Just to see this KitchenAid measure and just see if how accurate it would be. says I should be at, okay, I don't know. This doesn't have the grams in this one. My other recipe had grams. Okay, here's the half a cup. I'm trying to find the right one. There's the 2/3 cup. To do this somehow supposed to sit. It's supposed to go in.
Just turn it on.
It's not. Okay, I think I have to turn the mixer. I have to turn the mixer on.
Do you?
I didn't probably. There, yes. But now it's spilling. I don't know why it's not. Just gonna pause for a second. Okay, I've got it kind of working now. I'm gonna measure and the rest of my flour. Got my salt, so I need 5 mils of salt per recipe. I'm doing a double recipe, so I'm just going to put my salt in up here so it can just mix in with the rest of the flour that's still up here. I'm going to turn this on. So I'm gonna have to take this off. Just gotta unscrew this. I'm just gonna take the scale and sift it off because I don't need it now. I've got my clear, whatever this is called, bowl cover, spill cover. But it goes to my metal pan or my metal bowl, and I'm using the glass bowl, so it's not quite fitting exact, but it's just prevented flour from, you know, going all over the counter. So now I'm just going to be turning this back on just a little bit, and I gotta add it in the lard little by little. Okay.
Maybe we should keep this on.
I had another one that came with it. Okay, well, we'll put it the other way then. No, this has got to be.
No. It would make no, because you have to be able to support it.
Okay, I'm just having trouble figuring this out. Just the flour just wants to spill everywhere.
Here and it doesn't have to go.
Just slip it through here. Oh, okay. gotta turn the mixer back
You
on.
can put it through here.
Okay, yeah, okay. Just turn the mixer back on. And I also needed I also need 1/3 of a cup of iced water. So I've got water in here with ice cubes. I'm just going to pour my water in here. 1/3 of a cup. There, so now it's starting to really look like a pie crust. I need another 1/3 of a cup of water because we are doing a double. We're making 2 9-inch double crust pies. I guess you don't just need that.
Because we're done with flour now.
Water. So that's looking really good. I think I don't need any more water. I'm just gonna let this mix for another minute, and then I'll be getting ready to take it out and roll it out into the pie crust. So I'll be right back. Oh, okay. So it's had a couple more minutes of mixing, and my daughter just knocked something off my stand mixer. I'm just going to take the dough, I'm just going to put it on my rolling mat here. We've got to roll this dough into, divide this dough into 4 even because we're making 2 double pie crusts. I'm just going to take it off this silicone mat. I'm just going to use this other mat. Just going to move things out of my way. Just going to put this pink silicone mat under here just so it's easier to see, but this other mat is just so much easier to roll out because it's got the better dimensions. So I'm just going to look for my, I'm going to divide this evenly in half. Just going to make, and then I got to divide this also in half again. I've made pie crust before, but I can say this actually feels like a really good pie crust. I've never actually made one that feels this soft. So I'm just going to set these other the other 3 chunks. I'm just going to set them back in the mixing bowl, just out of my way for a minute. I'm just going to work on just this one. So I turn this around so I can see the measurements for myself because I gotta do 9" so I gotta start this in the center. And I gotta, which one it is? I need 9 inches. So it looks like I gotta, I don't know, this isn't lining up right, so I'm just trying to figure this out. Looks like I gotta roll it out to hit somewhere between B and C. I've got my rolling pin here. I'm just gonna start rolling this out. Okay, it's sticking to my rolling pin. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of flour. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little flour here. A little flour on the rolling pin. I had already done that, but I guess I need a little more. I was able to roll that out a lot further than I was supposed to. So I've got my dough all nicely rolled out, but it's rolled it too far, so I've got to just find where the circle would be. Just move this extra bit of dough around here. I'll just save that because just save that for the other portions of the pie crusts. Really, these mats are really good for having. So making our pie crust will be about 9 inches, I believe they were. So we're going to kind of make more like almost like a deep dish kind of a pan. So just get rid of this extra. Okay, so I've got my one pie crust already rolled out. I'm just kind of evening up the edges a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'll be putting it in the pie pan. Just going to grab my pie pan. So to do this, what trick I've found works the best sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. So I just take my rolling pin, just kind of get this to roll with the rolling pin. Oh, that's not going to work. It just fell apart. I just have to re-roll it. Okay, I got it re-rolled out, so now I'm going to just put it in the pan, but I think it's tearing on me. It is. Yeah, it's just tearing and falling apart. So I'm just going to put this dough aside, and I'm just going to roll out one of the other doughs then. The other ball of dough then. I will just work on that one. Get some of this flour out of the way. Okay. Try this again. Okay. The thing is, rolling up pie crusts, it seemed too easy to make, and it seemed like it was working too easily to be rolled out and everything. And a little bit too much flour right there. Just gonna roll this out. Well, I think the flour, I think that it was working good, and then now it's not. And this, okay. Okay. Get this rolled out to the right ring all the way around.
Okay, just get it. Leave the extra bits.
Take the extra chunk off. I'm just gonna fold this pie crust in half, and then in half again. I'm gonna lift it into the pan, and I think it's doing the same thing. It's just tearing on me. Yep, it did the exact same thing.
It is where you fold it, so you don't fold it.
So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this in the fridge, the dough in the fridge for 10 minutes, and I'll come back. Okay, so I've got the pie crusts in the fridge, just cooling, just chilling so I can roll them out easier. I've got this big colander of all the apples. So we are gonna do a cooked apple filling. So I'm gonna get my apples into my pot. It's gonna be hard to pour all these apples in here. My pot is full, and this doesn't look like we've taken any apples out. So I'm going to set the apples aside. And then in here, yeah, I know I just saw the water spilt. So into my apples, I am adding some lemon juice. It's supposed to help prevent them turning brown, which they already have. I can't open this. Need help? Yeah, just go. Okay, so what? I'm having trouble opening the lemon juice, but while we do that, I'm just gonna get a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna sprinkle that in here, and I need doing a teaspoon of every spice. So I've got a teaspoon of clove, a teaspoon of allspice, a teaspoon of nutmeg, drop the whole jar, would have been probably about 4 tablespoons in there, and my cinnamon. So I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, because cinnamon's really good.
I'm gonna get David. Hold it, I'm gonna go get David to open this.
Okay, so now I've got the lemon juice. I'm going to add half a cup. I can find which one's half a cup. Half a cup of the lemon juice. Just a little bit less than half a cup. And then I also have to add 3/4 of a cup of white sugar and 3/4 a cup of hacked brown sugar. So let's do my white sugar first. 3/4. I'm just going to do the white sugar first. the brown sugar. Okay, there. That's 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. And then we just turn it on to a medium heat.
And you don't add any more liquids because apples are like a lot of water already. So, yeah.
Stirring this down a bit to make sure that coat all the apples with the sugar and spice mixture. And it takes about 15 to 30 minutes.
Nothing. And if you thinly slice them, it might take less time, but we like thicker chunks.
I like a good thick slice of apple in my pie. So I'm just going to continue to let these cook down, and I'll just be stirring these occasionally, and gotta cover the lid.
Oh, that's strong of lemon.
Okay.
And you leave the lid on, continue to stir it. We'll be back in 20-ish minutes.
Okay, so this has been cooking for a little bit longer than it should have been, but it's looking good. So now we just have to put this, pour this out on a baking sheet, and I'm going to stick it in the freezer to cool down, and then I will start rolling out the pie crusts. Okay, I'm back, and I'm going to start to roll the dough out again. I'm just going to move the camera back a bit. Oops. Yeah, this is so much better now that it's chilled. It just tears when you're still on the mat. I just kind of pinch it back together. I just got to make sure that I got it to the right size.
Which one? On which line?
9 inch. I have to go to about C.
Which one's C?
Well, there's 4 A, B, C, or D, so I got to go to this one. See, it's doing what it was doing before. So just gotta. Okay, it needs flour. And it's too thin there now. Okay, so I got it rolled out to the right thickness. Now, what I've decided is because I've got it on this sheet, I'm just going to keep it on this sheet, and I'm just going to take this.
You could just
Oh, do that this way.
And some minor tears are easy to fix. If there's a hole, just fix it with. Just fix it.
Okay, so now we're just gonna pour the apples in here.
Well, the apples are cooling right now.
No, the other apple. We're making 2 different apple pies. One is gonna have the baked filling and one is just the regular filling. Just the cut apples and the spices.
One's the way she makes it, one's the way I'd make it. We can have a competition to see which one's better. Where are the apples? Oh, behind us.
Okay, so now we've got to make the spices for the apples.
Oh, I'll take this.
Okay. And then we also have to roll out the other
lattice.
part of the pie crust. I'm going to roll this one out. This one, it doesn't have to be any specific size because we're going to cut this into strips.
You roll this one and you spice it.
Okay. You roll that one out and I'm just going to grab the spices. Okay, so for the filling the other pie, I am going to use about 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, not packed, just kind of loosely packed. And then to this, I will also be adding the same number of spice. I'm going to be doing a teaspoon of allspice. I'm almost out of allspice. I'm almost out of a lot of my spices. I got my 1 teaspoon I was using, it's in the sinks, so I'm just using a 1/2 teaspoon. So even though I'm saying I'm using 1 teaspoon, I'm measuring out 2. Again, I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of, this one here is cloves. Just a little more. And this is nutmeg. So I will be using 1 teaspoon of the nutmeg. And the cinnamon. I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Give this a quick stir. So that's my brown sugar and the spices. of all these apples. I'm just gonna get the spaces out of the way so I don't break it down.
Actually, no, I think I should get these in half. They're a bit too big.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna add apples into here. And I've taken out so many apples to make these pies, and it doesn't look like we've used any apples. I'm just gonna do this, and I'm just gonna grab a spoon, and I'm just gonna stir the apples.
Do you want a thicker lettuce or a thin
Oh,
lettuce?
that should be okay.
This or this? Which one?
That one's good.
The one I'm holding.
Yeah, actually, let me borrow this knife for a second. There's
Okay.
a chunk of the core still on one of the apples.
Oops. So you want the thin boys?
Happens sometimes.
Okay, well, if I'm doing thin boys, then I gotta.
Just a good stir. They're all well coated. And then I'm just gonna grab the pie. These are gonna be like a deep dish pie. Here, and move this back here. I will, but I still drop the pie crust. Okay. That's those 4 pieces. And the pie shell back here. I'm just gonna pour this in. Just gonna move these around a little bit, just so it looks more even. Because I've got just there. That looks a little bit better. It's a little flatter. So just set these dishes aside, and then we're just gonna wait for her to finish cutting up the strips, and then we will make the lattice. So when the strips are cut, we'll be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna start putting on the, can't lift them up. No,
Okay, wait,
can't.
stop. That one's good.
Okay.
Using a knife to cut them
Okay.
off.
Okay. Just gonna pile these down. Okay, so now we're gonna start making the lattice. Oops. Oh, it broke. Okay. Just move that to there.
I'd say leave that extra bit on for now.
Some of it, yeah, some of it I have to take off. Okay. And the next piece, so then yep, got you the flour 1 second. You don't want to roll too much. You don't want to handle the dough too much. So we'll probably need 1, 2, 3, 4 more strips, I guess. I just realized I forgot to preheat the oven. I know, I'm just doing too many things at a time. Okay, so we got the next ones ready.
Which one do you want?
I don't know, just gotta do the next row.
These two. Wait, can I use a knife on the silicone one?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then I looked, because I gotta go over. Just, I'm trying to remember because I'm getting under. Okay. No, I'm messed up.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I know, I'm just this one, and this one. Yeah, okay. I just. Okay. Oh, last strip?
Not last strip, but okay.
No?
No.
Okay, I guess. Okay. I'm just. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah, no,
this
I'll
one.
add another one over
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
So, just round it up. Alright.
Okay, and I just need the knife.
Why?
And we just trim off the extra. Just take the knife and we just cut the edge, just trim off the extra pieces all the way around.
Potato. The potato, what are the potato cutter could make a cool design
Oh.
along the edge.
Yeah, it would.
Can you find it? I will make a rim for the thing. You find potato peeler.
I'm gonna make a
Mhm.
roll out another piece. Okay.
Yes. We'll be back. Pause it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this because it has the wavy design, and I'm just cutting it the same way you would cut anything else. Just so that I can make the pattern. And then we're gonna put this around the rim of the pie. Yay. French fry cut. This is what it's called. You can make French fries and potatoes. This is what it is for. And I'm using it for something else.
Okay. Oops, the camera's not.
I made a bunch of mini French fries. They were longer than this, and then I just put them around the edge. Cool. Yeah.
I'm
Egg
just gonna
wash time.
Make a quick egg wash, which is just 1 egg. Just beat it up. I'm going to do this because I'm making 2 pies, so the rest of the egg will just get put in the fridge until we're ready to do the second pie. Okay, it's done. It's well beaten.
Not really, but okay.
And then you just take it and just get it on here so it will
Brown.
help make the pie crust brown.
Yeah. And then we sprinkle sugar on top of it. We'll get to you when we're putting on the sugar.
Okay, so then I'm going to sprinkle some sugar on top. Now I've got some raw sugar, which is just like this.
It's thick or it's coarse.
Normally, if I'm doing this, I would probably sprinkle like my berry sugar because it's a little bit coarser, but I can't seem to find it.
It's more.
So I've got my raw sugar.
And don't be afraid if it gets into the actual batter, because it's
We want it to get
sugar.
in. We want it to
It's
coat.
sweet. It'll just be fine.
We want it to coat the crust and fall in many crevices to help sweeten up.
Can I shove it against the outside crust?
Okay. Use a spoon.
Okay.
Don't want your fingers in the container. Okay, just show you please. So I'm just gonna stick this in the fridge. Okay, so now we're gonna put it in the oven. I've got the oven preheated at 350, and it should take about an hour. And we'll be back when this pie is done and when we're starting the second pie. Okay, so the pie has been in the oven for an hour. I'm just taking it out. This one looks good. So I'll be back shortly when I'm starting with the next pie. Okay, we're back and we're gonna now roll out the crust for the second pie. I'm just gonna, is it lined up? I'm just gonna move the camera, just whoops, so it's lined up a little bit better. Oops, pulling. I'm just gonna grab some flour here and just add a little bit of flour to the rolling pin, to the
Silicone.
to my
Silicone.
rolling mat.
Where's the pan go?
The pan is inside the colander.
Pan.
So I'm just going to pinch it back together. Just keep rolling it out. And then anywhere where it's kind of breaking, I'm just going to pinch the sides together. got too much over here, and I need a little more over here, and some down here. Just pinch it together. Oops, this needs a little more here.
It's just flying off.
Okay, and I'm just gonna roll it out. Just didn't want to do that. Just need a little more flour on my rolling pin. Just need more flour on the rolling pin. There.
Over here I had it.
Yeah. Just rolling a little bit where we had pinched it together, just to kind of make sure it's all good. Just gonna set the rolling pin aside. I'm just gonna bring the pie crust, and we're just gonna do what we did before. Just gonna flip the pie crust on, and just slowly do that.
Quickly.
And we gotta get it to sink in without pressing down. So anywhere where it just came apart, we're just gonna pinch that together. I don't feel like it's like 11 o'clock at night. I just don't feel like taking this pie crust and re-rolling it all. So I'm just gonna take these pieces and just kind of pinch it together.
Actually, leave this on. It's not nice, but good enough. Just because we don't want to cut all of it off, because then this can help with the top bit. Because if we wet it, it's like when you with clay. If you wet it and scorch it, it'll help stick.
Okay, so now we're just gonna move this, because then we'll roll this out to make the crust.
The top boy.
This is the pie that's going to be the filling we baked. So I'm just going to move this rolling pin out of the way.
I'm going to work on this.
No, because I got to put this in. I got to put the filling in. I'll press it into the pan like that.
I'm fixing the food.
Okay. So this is the filling we had cooked with the lemon juice, brown sugar, and the spices.
And then we froze it.
And then we put it, and then to cool it down, we stuck it in the, I need a spoon. This is not working properly.
Put it in the freezer for like 3 hours.
We put it in the freezer to help cool it down faster.
And then forgot about it.
And then we went and had supper. So,
Just use your hands, Mom.
I don't want to touch this.
Why not? It's delicious. Just. Can I?
Yeah, I feel it's cold. It looks kind of gross when you use it with your hands. I'm just gonna slip it off here.
It's fine.
Now I'm gonna use the spatula and just scrape all the rest of this off. It's got all the good spices and the liquid.
You're putting it in the
Oh, I didn't realize it was sitting right in the pie.
Eleanor?
Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to set the pie up here. I'm just going to bring this back.
Ooh, where's the pub? The Buddha.
And I'm gonna grab the
Potato.
other. Oh, it's back in the drawer.
Okay.
So I'm just
We're
gonna.
making the entire thing like that. I hope you like that. I like that design. So making every like little.
So now we're gonna make the lattice again. So I'm gonna roll this out.
Potato boy. French fries. Chips. Whatever you want to call them. I wonder if you can eat it. No.
Just a little bit of flour on that side and a little more flour on this side. And I'm just gonna roll this out.
Like it's sort of thick.
Now this I don't have to roll out into pie crust because we're going to be cutting this into strips to make the lattice. And again, I've got my oven already preheated at 350 degrees. I know, I think it said you're supposed to put the oven at 400
Halfway.
or 450, and then halfway through you turn it to 350. I just find it just easier just to keep the temperature start at 350 and I just leave it at 350. Because I usually forget to turn the temperature down. Rolling pin is heavy.
Really?
My rolling pin is heavy. It's a solid marble rolling pin.
I would have never guessed that it'd be heavy.
I just dropped it on my finger. Just pinching these edges together a little bit. Now you can cut them into strips.
We will be using Curly Boy.
It's for chopping
Potatoes.
vegetables. And it gives the crinkle cut look
They
to
basically
things.
can make it look like French fries. They look like uncooked French fries. So we're just gonna make long strips like that.
Okay.
We got the French fries.
Okay, we've got the pie crust cut into the strips.
It looks like a raw
So
French
now
fry.
we're going to put this on top.
As you would a lattice.
Okay. Well, this one we're going to do a little bit different.
Is this long enough? Not more than long enough.
It just doesn't want to get picked up.
I'll get them all off. And
So
separate.
this one, it is going to be the lattice, but I'm going to do the bottom layer all going one way, the top layer the other direction. That way there won't be overlapping, like a basket weaving like I did for the other pie. Because this just doesn't really want to work with us tonight. This pie crust, it just wants to break.
That's because of how this is shaped. Need a longer one?
I've got the other chunk of this. Just gonna squeeze it back together.
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Let's make it a nice crust. Those are not scraped off the bottom, Mom.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, it's just crumbly. Wants to just.
Because of how the potato thing is cut
Okay.
or shaped. Nah. Don't even think it's long enough, is it?
No.
Okay, that's fine. You just use a longer one.
Didn't work. I just need to put a chunk in here to finish this.
Got a few more in here.
Yeah, I have another piece of this one here.
Just try to find one that looks decent.
Okay, I guess we'll start putting them across the other way.
Not yet. Let's push all of these onto here. Are we gonna like be flipping them?
No, not on this one. We're just gonna do one layer.
I'm pinching all of these down. So
Okay.
like, tell me if I need to make more.
Okay, so just gotta do, I think, one more row.
Two more.
Two? Okay. Just move it down, okay.
One. Four now.
Okay. Push this together.
I'm just gonna make one huge roll now.
One big one to finish off the edging.
Yeah, we're gonna just make that real quick and be right back.
Okay, so we've got 2 long strips of the dough cut
French
out.
fried, as I'm calling it.
So my daughter is just gonna put that on, and I'm just gonna grab the egg wash and the little thing, whatever it's called.
Brush,
Yes, the
barbecue sauce brush,
sauce brush.
barbecue sauce brush.
And the egg wash.
Yeah. Dropped the knife. Don't do anything yet.
And the other sugar.
Oh, I just cut that. Okay, oh well. And the raw sugar. No, it broke! Oh my god, I hate this. Of course it broke. I knew it would, but I didn't want it to. And it's a thicker crust because thicker crusts are cool. I stand by that. Just because then you get a bit more of that curly design, and it helps keep any liquids and such like in, so it won't boil over. If that makes sense.
Another one of those sugar softening tool things, whatever.
The thing
round.
with
Yeah,
yeah.
because the raw sugar is clumping like the brown sugar clumps. So I'll have to get another one of those.
Okay. We're not doing the egg wash just yet.
I know.
And now I'm just gonna sit here and pinch any edges together and make it look cohesive, and yeah. Pachow.
Okay, so we've got the crust on. Don't tip it. And I've got the egg wash. I'm just gonna put the egg wash on. And then we will sprinkle the raw sugar on top. Now the egg wash does a couple things. One is it does help hold the crust together. also, as it's baking, will give it a really nice brown color. Golden color. If you didn't want to use egg, you can use milk. Or you can even do a mixture of, I just spilled egg.
Hey, we can make this into an omelet.
You can also do the mixture of the egg and milk.
Can you use alternative milks?
Oh, probably. I'd have to. You probably could. I've never used alternative milks for this, so
You don't even use milk.
I don't really use milk, so I don't know, but I probably could. I'm just gonna drizzle the rest of the egg on top. I'll just kind of.
Can I just get in there?
Okay, you want to try?
Just
Stuff out of the way.
sugar time. And now we're gonna sprinkle raw sugar on. Mom told them the reasons for that.
Sugar also gives it a really just nice appearance. Now, usually I use berry sugar. You can use just regular white sugar or brown sugar, but I like the berry sugar because it's a little bit thicker, but I'm out of berry sugar, so today I'm using raw sugar.
You don't want it to be fine. You want it to be that like bit thicker, bit like coarser. That's the word. Just to help.
So you can see the sugar when it's on, and it gives a nice caramelized look.
There.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay, so now we're gonna put the pie in the oven. I said I've got the oven at 350 degrees, so it'll probably take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So when I bring it out of the oven, I will show you.
Bonus.
Oh, it's just a bonus thing. I've got a bunch of dough left over, so I'm just gonna roll it out. And I'm just gonna.
Cinnamon.
Oh, they're over there. The brown sugar and cinnamon are both over near the counter. Just gonna roll this out.
You want the water?
No, because it fixed itself. First time tonight, the pie crust kind of fixed itself. So I'm just gonna roll it like this into a nice. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a fun bonus. So I'm just gonna take some brown sugar. I'm just going to sprinkle brown sugar on.
We should rewatch Austin Powers. We just watched it like a week ago. Rewatch it then.
Sprinkle the brown sugar on. You can't be wrong with too much brown sugar for this.
But it'll just caramelize.
Caramelize.
It'll be caramelized.
So I'm just going to sprinkle a little more brown sugar and the edges.
Caramelized? Is it caramel or caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel?
Caramelized.
Caramelized. Okay. I feel stupid.
Okay.
That's not a first though.
Okay, so now put and then we're going to sprinkle. Okay. We'll sprinkle the cinnamon on top.
How much?
Just sprinkle it on top. Can't go wrong with cinnamon. It's good.
I don't say yes to that.
Okay.
You can do too much.
Okay, that should be good. Then, okay. Then I'm just going to start rolling it up if I can.
Yeah. The smell reminds me of elementary school mornings. Making oatmeal.
Doesn't want to roll.
Oh, I know how to help. Where's the knife?
It's in the sink.
You took my child, Mom. Alright, I know how to help this. It's sticking to the mat. I don't like this mat as much. It does not work.
Okay. Just gonna continue rolling this up.
This shouldn't be a two-person job, but it is.
Okay.
Then just pinch the eyes. Make it like a burrito. You gotta pinch the sides to make it not spill out.
Okay, now I need the pan. It's in the sink. The baking pan.
The big one.
The cookie sheet.
You don't call them baking pans. So I got very confused. You call them a cookie sheet.
Okay.
I haven't heard you call them a baking pan.
Okay. Just set it down. Then go like this, and then we're just gonna cut this into. It's gonna fall apart, but that's okay. We'll just fix it. Like I said, this was just a bonus to use up the extra dough.
Water time.
And
Time to fix my children.
give me one. That's a good shot. I'm just gonna spread these out on the cookie sheet.
I will fix all of the children.
Spread them out a little more because we've got this whole big pan.
My favorite one. It looks like a rose.
How many do we get?
I have no clue. 8? 7?
1, 2, 3, 4. What are you? I'm trying to
9.
9. We got.
My mind had to
9.
even it. And 1 rose boy. We got 8 in a rose.
Okay, and then just a little bit of this brown sugar here. We'll just take it and just sprinkle it on top. Oops, this one fell apart. This one just kind of fell apart a little.
Because this will caramelize. However it's supposed to be said, I don't really care.
Okay, so I'm just going to stick these in the oven. These will probably take, 10, 15 minutes. So when these are done, I'll also show what these look like too. Okay, so here's the quick little cinnamon buns. They've been in the oven 22 minutes. Now we didn't put the egg wash or milk wash on these, so they won't really get that golden brown color, but that's what those look like. And there's my pie. I'm going to be taking it out of the oven. It's been in for a little over an hour now. It looks good. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. It's been a big help, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.